Hi, this is Rachel Rehart from Pure Photoshop Actions, and I'm going to be doing a quick series over the next week or so on Lightroom, just discussing tips and tricks and how to go faster. We'll be doing a lot of the things that Crystal talked about in Adobe Camera Raw, things like batch processing and how to cull quickly, because these are things that honestly, they don't sound all that flashy, but when you can save yourself hours and hours and hours, this is really the way to get going in Lightroom and as a photographer. So I'm going to utilize Lightroom. Crystal is our ACR guru, and I am the one who works in Lightroom. So I'm going to be discussing the library mode specifically because today, because that's something I think often gets skipped, but it is something that can get you going faster. We'll talk about a few different culling methods for bigger projects. I utilize culling in the library mode. For smaller projects like family sessions and whatnot, I will do culling right within my develop mode. So I want to make one sort of public service announcement. I think all of Lightroom is awesome. Honestly, I don't really use the map or things like that or the web, but in terms of the big main things that you utilize, library and develop and to some extent print, I think they're amazing. I think they're awesome. I recommend really getting to know it. However, the one thing that I don't really use very much is importing my images from my card into Lightroom. I don't use Lightroom to get things off the card. My reasons for that is I've had an experience when we were quite a bit newer, as well as I've heard experiences from many, many photographers, some of whom, if I told you their name, you'd say, oh my gosh, I know those people, they're great. A lot of people have had experiences of when Lightroom when you're utilizing Lightroom and it is moving over your images to Lightroom and then to make a folder, it will decide not to move over this, that, and the other. Either it thinks it's a duplicate or for some reason it just doesn't do it. I've heard too many stories of people missing chunks and the only thing that they can trace it back to is Lightroom didn't import it. So for me, that is just a reason that I do not use the Lightroom import. I just don't feel like I can trust it. So I will go in, I will open up my card in my Finder, I will create a new folder, I will drag and drop and watch and check, numbers and make sure that it's all good when I know I have everything. And, besides, I'm not going to delete the card until I've edited all the images and delivered them, but still, it's just for safety. Safety is always important. Losing images is never fun, never a good thing. So that's the only thing in Lightroom I'm really going to say, yeah, you know what? Don't use the import. But once I put that into a folder, then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to import photos and videos. And I'm going to choose a source. I'm going to say, okay, let's go here. Perfect. This is actually what I needed to do. So I'm going to choose. I just grabbed some photos. I don't even know if they're all in focus. I hope they are. But I just grabbed some photos so that I can show you how to work on some of these photos, how to get them into Lightroom, how to import them, how to utilize the library. I just, thought, okay, well, I'll just use some photos that I know need a little bit of work and that we can show you how this all works. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is when I'm importing, I come over here to file handling. A lot of people, again, just kind of skip by this. So I want to explain. So file handling, I choose build previews 1:1. The reason I do this, it takes a little bit longer at the outset, but then when you're working on the photo, it doesn't take forever for it to render. If you decide to zoom in, it's not like, oh my gosh, this is taking so long, and it's making my editing process super long. Instead, I'm going to compress as much of that rendering up to the beginning, so then I know, okay, it's going to take a little bit longer as I'm building these previews, and I can go and I can read to my kids, I can do errands, I can do whatever it is that I need to do because I know it's going to be working a little bit longer versus having to sit through it and edit and wait for each preview to render because you just can't avoid that and it really can drag. So I choose to do this. I have not chosen to use smart previews because it's just something that for me, I haven't found it to be useful. I'm sure that there's somebody out there who's just aghast because it's something that they feel is the most important thing. And that's super. If you use it and you enjoy it, that's awesome. I just haven't found it to be useful for me. So I don't import this. I don't click don't import suspected duplicates. That's sort of another reason that it causes problems. I don't make any extra copies. I don't have developed settings because, we shoot in so many different types of light. We shoot indoors, we shoot outdoors, we're shooting, studio, we shoot artificial light, we shoot natural light. So there's no specific developed setting that I could apply across the board. So for me, I just leave this at none so that when I am going to look at these, I can say, okay, I probably could look at this and say, they all need to be warmed a certain amount. But for me, I often just don't use this. It really could probably go faster if I decided to, but for me, I don't use it. However, metadata, I do want to talk about metadata. This one says Rachel Pure. It's a metadata preset that I created. I want to show you how you can create a preset. Because I think a lot of people don't realize the power that you have in embedding these presets. It's amazing. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. So you're going to click on develop settings or metadata. You're going to click new preset. It's going to bring up this new metadata preset. I just come down and I want to talk about my copyright. So on my Mac, I'm going to choose option G and it puts the copyright symbol. And I'm going to say, oops, not Rachel. Sorry, Rachel. Okay, I'm trying to type on my microphone. Rehart. So like if I am completely stupid, it's this stupid microphone. Rachel Rehart, pure photography and design. And then my copyright status, I'm going to change it from unknown to copyrighted. So that way you can do this and you can create, and you can title it. Let me show you how you title it. There we go. And I just have to capitalize that. That's just wrong. Okay. So I'm going to title this copyright. It's just the same as my other one, but hey, so I'll show you. So at this point, then I'm going to click create. So what it's going to do, I'm just going to change it back to my other one, but that's how you would make one. So now when it imports these, it's going to embed my copyright information into any of these. So if they get uploaded to Facebook, if people are looking at the metadata, they're going to see that I am the one who created this. And really nefarious people can get around it, but people, on Facebook and whatever, it's just going to get around the whole, oh, I don't, who shot your wedding images? Oh, they can see who shot it. And it kind of gets around sometimes that, they're cropping out your watermark and yada, yada. Anytime they upload your things, it's going to show your copyright on Facebook. The other thing I want to talk about is keywords. So here I could type something. Okay, I'm going to slide over this microphone just a little bit. Bridals, Deborah, and Preston. This is the Salt Lake Temple. Oops, that's really stupid. Salt Lake Temple. We could do spring and blossoms. And so we can just talk about all these different things, what are in these photos, because then if I decide, okay, I want to, create an ad or I want to do something and I want to look up, okay, where, I remember I had this great shoot and there was all these blossoms at the Salt Lake Temple. I'll be able to type that in and the library is going to find it for me, which is super because honestly, for me, that makes it so much easier not having to remember, okay, when was that? Which hard drive is it on? Who was that? I can type in what I remember about the session. Also, I'm going to sort it by capture time because I shoot 2 cameras and I have crystal. So that way it keeps things kind of, in order. I can, especially on a wedding, I can have the day from beginning to end. My 2 cameras are intermixed. It's not like, okay, let's try to get these all right. It makes things much nicer when I export. I can make my thumbnails as big or as small as I want, which is also super nice. A lot of times I make them just super big so that I know I can look and say, okay, what am I looking at here? So, okay, so I've got these, I've put in my keywords, I've got my metadata, it's going to build previews, I've got the capture time going. So all these things, it's going to sort, it's going to make it super easy for me. And, obviously this would have taken me like 2 seconds if I wasn't explaining the whys on all of it. So then I'm going to click import. So now it's importing to the library. And there we go. So for me, I'm going to talk really quickly about how you can use the library to do some quick culling. Because like I said, I just grabbed these. I'm not entirely sure what is even going on in terms of, them being in focus or anything like that. So now we can say, okay, let's cull these. And then I'll probably get rid of this and re-import it next time so that when I do the develop, I can show you my fast culling method for, shorter files. But this is for we'll pretend like this is a wedding and there's like 1,000 images. How am I going to be fast? So, okay, I want to show you how to be fast. And you can sort these. It's pretty simple. So here I am, and I'm going to try to move this around so that I can get to my keyboard because I need to use my keyboard. So if I click on this, see how it goes to a nice full screen image. I can say, okay, so they're all down here in this film strip. And I say, you know what? Okay, I like how this one looks. I think this is a nice looking one. So I click 5 and that gives it a rating of 5 stars. I click the arrow. I say, you know what? I really like her face there. That is really cute. So I click 5. I'm giving it 5 stars. Here, her face, like I just caught her at a weird second. So, I'm going to skip this. I don't want that. So I'm not starring it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just not starring it. Again, here, I think her eye, I didn't catch it quite right. And so I don't think that's as flattering as it could be. Again, she's talking, but this one is great. I think I like this one a lot. I'm going to give it 5 stars. So I'm just going to do this kind of based on my gut reaction. And I can tell because I can see that see how they're super in focus. I mean, as you first are beginning to do this, you're going to want to, probably zoom in, make sure they're in focus or whatever. But if you've done this a while, you're going to say, you know what, I know this is, in fact, this one I don't think is quite as in focus as the other. Oh no, that one's really good too. But you can generally look and you'll get kind of an idea as they're out here because it just won't have quite the crisp nuance and detail. So this one is the same. So even though I gave this one 5 stars, I'm going to go back to this one and say, you know what, it's pretty much the same. So I'm just going to skip. It's a slightly different angle. So maybe I'll give that one, I'll say, okay, I like that. It's a different feeling. So I'll edit it. Again, same. So I'm going to skip. This one, it's closer. I like it. She's looking serious. Looks good. And again, it's a little bit different. Oh, see, this one's not in focus though, because do you see how maybe, I don't know, Facebook probably did not upload this very well, but I could tell that this missed focus because even though back here it looks okay, you can tell there's just a softness about it. And so I'm going to skip that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay, I think this is super cute. I'm pretty sure this is in great focus because I can tell by just how these eyelashes are. And that's close enough for me to be considered good focus because the size that's going to, when they're printing it and how far back they are, that's just perfect. So I'm going to give that 5. That looks like he's looking at the wrong thing. So we're going to skip those. Oh, hey, okay, there we go. So 5. Oh, I like that one. 5. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so actually her looking up, I might even keep that one. This is pretty much the same as her looking down. That one's a little more focused on him, so I actually kind of like that. Nope. Nope, she looked mad. This one, yeah. Okay, 5. Oh, her hair's blowing there. Okay, skip. This one's even better. Okay, 5. I like that because now you can't see the blowing hair. I was thinking, I'm gonna have to clone and stuff. Okay, and so here she's serious. Here she's got a smile. So, okay, oh, and that, let's see. See, and super in focus. So, okay. This one, again, it's that serious look. I really like it. It's good focus. Okay, skip this one. This one, he looks cute. I like that. It's kind of his thing. Okay, I like that one. I may have to crop it, but yeah, I like it. I like that one better, actually. So 5, I might even go back and unset the other. And I actually like that one even better. Okay, so, if I decide, you know what, then I can hit 0, say, you know what, I'm not even going to bother with that one because I have better ones. Here, it's a little bit awkward and I'm not sure it's totally in focus. Her eyes are a little bit out of focus and they were closed before. Yeah, I think I'll probably keep this one. Okay, so here he was going, and I'm pointing at my screen, that's so silly. So here he's over at the side, but he's gonna run and jump across, but I may crop him out or clone him out and just use one where it's just her. So maybe I would do this one, because there she's blowing here, like her eyes are closed. Okay, I like this one. Okay, did I not grab, okay, oh, see that one's out of focus, he was running. And apparently I just totally, my focus died there. I don't have him. There we go. So that, okay, I guess I did it again, but I did not actually load the secondary one in, but I like this one a lot, so I'm glad I, so now I'm gonna go up here and I'm going to choose like how I'm going to view it, and I'm gonna choose sort. So for the time being, I can go through and choose that I want, so I want, oops, capture time, yes. And then I want to view, sort by rating. And I want to choose, sorry, it keeps closing. Okay, so I want to choose by rating, and I want to choose descending. So it's going to put all my 5 stars up here at the beginning. So now they're not in like the greatest order, but I can fix that at the end. But see, here's all my ones here, like that are my dupe, not really ones that I'm gonna use, but all my 5 stars are up here. So I know when I get to where it starts over again, that I can say, okay, I made it to the point that I need to, and I'm done. So now it's cold and I can just go through. So I'll kind of show quickly what I would do. I'm just gonna go through just this set right here and edit it, because after this, I'm going to walk through the develop in much more detail. So I just want to show a quick reason of why you want to get all of your good pictures together, because then you can go super fast. So I'm going to go to our Lightroom ones. I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the workflow actually for overbright images, because here it was a little bit overcast and I just feel like it feels really, actually, maybe I don't know, I'm trying to decide. Let's try both, but I feel like that's gonna bring in, there we go. I like that one. It's brought in a little bit more of warmth, but it's also really pulled down all the detail, because her dress was so detailed. And when you have that overhead light, like sometimes you can lose the detail. So I don't feel like I really shot to where I was like overexposing her or anything. Let's see. So I'm gonna straighten this, but you know what? It's really kind of tricky sometimes to get the straightening right. I don't think I did on this. So I'm going to show you, you can click on the crop, and now I'm going to click on this little ruler tool, and I think I'm going to utilize probably this middle line right here. So I'm going to hold down my, sorry, there we go. I'm going to hold down my shift key on this end, and then I'm going to stretch it over to here. So I have a good, okay, let's see if that's, so now I just double click and say, all right, I don't know, I'm not feeling it on the temple, like trying to get those lines just right. But you know what? I'll show you how else we're gonna do it. But I've got her eyes on the 3rd. I'm kind of liking that. Okay, but I want to brighten her face a bit. Goodness gravy. I'm just having too much fun. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to choose, I'm just gonna bring up her exposure a little bit. Let's see, probably we'll start about there. So I'm just going to come in, okay, I'm just gonna give her a little bit of warmth, or a little bit of brightening, because I want her to stand out a little bit. And I like that. I don't feel like it's too much. I feel like it's nice. Yeah, I like that. Okay, then the other thing that I wanted to show you that you can turn on is you can enable profile corrections. And that's helping right there, because it's kind of, the distortion of the lens is going away. I can also go over here and try this. Here, as you see, there's the auto. It's like an auto correct. Sometimes it's amazing, because you know what? It wants to straighten it. These lines aren't all lining up, so it's wanting to straighten it, but it's making the temple unstraight, which is like the biggest deal. So there you go. Sorry, my husband is sending, I can never make those stop. Sorry. So you know what? I don't want to do that. I'm going to turn that off. But it got rid of my crop. Dang. So I guess check that. Like that's the thing, is just check the crop before you do that. But there you go. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go, well, gosh. Okay. I think I'll go with that for right now. I'll probably straighten that out later. But I like this, like if you can look now at the, you see, okay, before, after, like huge, like one click and one brush and trying to straighten it out. Totally not entirely sure about the straighten it out yet, but you know. Okay, but then here's the great thing. See, now I'm going to shift click this next one that is very, very, very similar. And I'm going to choose sync. And I'm going to say, okay, sync everything, but don't sync the crop. And I'm not going to sync spot removal. And actually most of the time, I mean, you can sync the local adjustment brush, and actually she's in the same spot. So I'm going to leave the local adjustment brush. But if people are, you know, way far away, you don't always want to do that. So now I have this one, which was undone, and it's done. So, and in fact, I'm starting to wonder, you know what, like a lot of these, I wonder if I could just, let's get an idea of where it puts us. So I think it's actually going to look pretty good. So I'm going to take that, but I'm going to turn off the local adjustment brush. I'm going to synchronize these, and it's running it through. And so now I think all these look like 1,000 times better. Yeah. So this one, I mean, maybe I'm going to lighten it up a little bit because there we go. But, like it's just, it really, I don't know, maybe this one was a little bit dark. But I didn't use the, I'm going to just take this and paint on them because I didn't use that brush. So I'm just going to paint them in just a little bit. And maybe her veil, like just a little bit to give it that feeling of some hair light. Okay. Oh, bam. Okay. And see how fast that goes. Like it's warm and it's soft and it's beautiful and I love it. So, so like, honestly, I mean, I could probably use that setting. I wonder if I could use it for everything. And then I can just go through with my local adjustments as needed. And then I just paint, and I'm done. And it works so fast, right? So sometimes that's just the way to go. Oh, I think it might've gone a little bit too dark on these ones because they were a little bit dark, but you know what? I don't know. If we're going to use our local adjustments, maybe we're going to be just fine. Yeah, and see, I'm being a little careless, so you will probably be a little less careless because I'm trying to like zip along. And that one, maybe I'm going to like raise it instead of a third. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like I can totally live with that. Anyway, so I just synced this over like everything that I did, and I like it a ton. So anyway, yeah, so that is that's in a nutshell, that's just using the library and then coming over and syncing with the develop. So I'm going to do more on this one, with one on develop, and I'll show you how I would edit this or how I would cull in the develop as well. So, watch for that one. And then I'll show you also how to export. But yeah, it's so fast. It's so quick. Like I would totally give this to a client, like really quite happily. I mean, I might come down here and brighten up the dress or warm it, just a pinch, but yeah, I mean, so much difference in one click. So if you aren't using Lightroom or Adobe Camera Raw, it's something you really need to look into. So anyway, thank you so much. Have a nice day.